As the season came to a victorious end, Mark and his squad basked in the glory of their 2 trophies. They had successfully navigated a challenging season, and now, with both the domestic title and their national cup run behind them, there was time for reflection. The next league match wouldn't take place until mid-July, as per tradition, giving Mark and the team a much-needed break. But Mark didn't see it as a time for rest. Instead, he viewed this period as an opportunity to strategize, plan, and make key moves behind the scenes. Mark had made a personal vow long ago to secure every domestic title possible for Lionheart. Now, with the club qualifying for the prestigious OFC Champions League, he added a new promise to himself. He would give the competition his all. He was ready to pour his heart and soul into the OFC campaign, and if it meant staying with the club for another full season, so be it. For now, his future was intertwined with Lionheart's colors, and he wouldn't have it any other way. The off-season was not only about reflection, but also about preparation. The first step Mark took was securing a new sponsorship deal for the team's jerseys. With Lionheart set to play on the international stage in the OFC Champions League, the sponsor recognized the club's growing stature and was eager to invest more. The financial boost was a critical step in Lionheart's ascent to even greater heights. With the new jerseys finalized and the sponsor on board, Mark's vision for the future started to come together. With the sponsorship in place, Mark turned his attention to the squad. Before preseason training even began, he had made 6 new signings, while 4 players departed in pursuit of new opportunities. Among the new recruits were Flavio Neff from New Caledonia, Tacitus Combs from the Cook Islands, Falahola'ana from Tonga, D'Angelo Bithinakis from Bougainville, Falaniko Naodi, a local talent. These signings were not just about adding numbers, but were a reflection of Mark's ambition. He aimed to blend local talent with international experience, ensuring the squad had the depth and diversity needed for the upcoming season and the OFC competition. While new players arrived, there were also a few notable departures. Jimmy Dong and Valowin Aveli both left on free transfers, with Valey joining Royal Puma and Dong finding his next challenge at Uchile. Bailey's departure wasn't unexpected, as he had struggled to make an impact with only 9 appearances. Jimmy Dong's exit, however, was a little more surprising, but it opened the door for fresh talent to step in. With the off-season moves complete, Lionheart entered the new season with a renewed sense of ambition. The team had grown stronger, and the excitement of playing on the international stage was palpable. Mark knew the challenges ahead would be tough, but with his new signings and unwavering dedication, Lionheart was ready to face whatever the next season and the OFC competition had in store. During preseason, Lionheart played 4 matches against Lepia 2, Black Roses, Taputamu Youth, and Sogi 2. All 4 teams were defeated, and Lionheart extended their incredible unbeaten run, now stretching to 18 matches. The first official league match was a confident 3-0 victory over Black Roses, with newcomer Tacitus Combs scoring his debut goal for the club. In the following game against Vayala Tongan, Lionheart produced a mirror result, winning again 3-0. Their third league match saw them face Pago Youth, and the team didn't disappoint, netting 5 goals in a 5-1 triumph, repeating their previous dominance over the same opposition. However, the momentum slowed slightly as the next 2 matches ended in draws. A scoreless stalemate against Pansa and a 1-1 draw with Dafuna Jets temporarily stalled their winning streak. By the time November rolled around, Lionheart found themselves in a more turbulent period. They had only managed 1 win in their last 4 games, and an unfortunate loss on penalties in the Cup quarterfinals saw them eliminated from that competition. With 2 trophies still within their reach, Mark made a crucial move by signing Theo Dumont from New Caledonia, hoping to bolster the squad for the challenges ahead. The first match in November was a much-needed 2-1 victory over Black Roses, courtesy of 2 goals from Sami Peter. The win gave the team confidence as they entered their first OFC Champions League game against Island Pitbulls from Micronesia. Lionheart dominated this encounter, winning 5-1 and advancing further in the tournament. Following the decisive win over Highland Pitbulls, Lionheart secured 2 more victories as November turned to December. Their next international match was against FANC Forces Armies Nouvelle Calédonie, from Wallis and Futuna played at Fank's home stadium. A dedicated group of 18 fans traveled to support the team on that chilly December day. FANC took the lead late in the first half, and for much of the second, it looked as though Lionheart might be headed for defeat. However, Kuzminic had other plans, scoring an equalizer in the 78th minute to keep Lionheart in the game. Just 5 minutes later, Akwasi Weda found the back of the net, sealing a 2-1 comeback victory for Lionheart and propelling them into the final playoff match, which would determine their progression into the group stage. Before the crucial OFC playoff, Lionheart had 2 more league matches to contend with. They faced Funajets and Tapudamu Youth, winning 4-1 and 3-2 respectively. These results provided a much-needed morale boost before the international fixture. The OFC playoff match took place against Waterfall FC from Vanuatu at the Sola Sports Complex. This time, no Lionheart fans made the journey to support their team. The game itself was a closely contested affair, with very few scoring opportunities. In the end, it was a low-scoring match, but Sami Peter's goal in the 18th minute proved to be the difference. Lionheart's narrow 1-0 victory secured their place in the OFC Champions League group stages. As 2026 neared its end, only 1 game remained in the calendar year, with a few more to be played in 2027. The final game of the year was against Uchile, resulting in another victory for Lionheart. With just 3 league matches left, the team's attention shifted towards the group stage, with these games scheduled through April, a period that normally coincided with the players' off-season. But this year was different. Both Royal Puma and Green Bay were dispatched in league play, putting Lionheart on the verge of securing the title. Barring a highly improbable collapse, the league title was already theirs. Lionheart's first match in the group stage was against Hikari United FC from Papua New Guinea. Hikari had once lifted the OFC title back in 2010, but this time they couldn't stand in Lionheart's way. In front of a crowd of 1,000, Lionheart secured a 2-0 victory. A week later, another international match awaited. However, in between, the final match of the league was still to be played. Lionheart faced Leia and Taumata, and a narrow 1-0 win saw them claim the league title. The fans were ecstatic, but the players knew the celebrations had to be muted as they still had the OFC matches to focus on. Just 3 days later, Lionheart traveled to Fiji for a match against Suva FC, one of the biggest clubs in Fiji with multiple domestic titles and runners-up in the 2023 OFC. This match proved too much for Lionheart, who were handed a 3-0 defeat by the superior side. 2 weeks later, Lionheart faced Auckland City from New Zealand. Auckland, the most dominant team in OFC history, with 7 consecutive titles from 2011 to 2017, displayed their superiority again, winning 2-0 on Lionheart's home turf. To maintain fitness, a few internal friendlies were arranged, with 20 days passing before their next group stage match. This time, the team traveled to New Caledonia to face Hing Sport, another previous OFC champion, having won the title in 2019. This time, Lionheart emerged victorious, winning 3-0 with 2 goals from Kuzminic and a late strike from Roy Ledu. March passed quietly with only friendlies, but April finally arrived, bringing with it a match against Hospital from Nauru. Lionheart won again, this time 2-1, setting the stage for their next OFC group stage match in 2 weeks. Lionheart's final group stage match took place against Central Coast, Sol, from the Solomon Islands. On paper, it seemed like a straightforward game for Lionheart, and it started that way, with Lionheart taking an early lead. However, after a red card and an equalizer from Central Coast, the first half ended in a draw. Knowing that victory would secure their place in the quarterfinals, Lionheart pushed hard, and once again, Kuzminic delivered, scoring the winner in the 83rd minute to make it 2-1. Lionheart advanced to the quarterfinals, scheduled for 3 weeks later. When the day arrived, Lionheart faced a familiar opponent, Hikari United FC, this time away in Papua New Guinea. Calvin Sung opened the scoring for Lionheart after 18 minutes, giving them a 1-0 lead at halftime. Sami Peter added a second goal early in the second half, making it 2-0. As the clock went down, Hikari United managed to pull one back, but Lionheart held firm and saw out the game to win 2-1, securing their place in the semifinals. 2 weeks later, Lionheart faced Hing Sport once more, in the semifinals. In front of 1,000 fans, the match was tightly contested, with neither team able to break the deadlock in regular time. Extra time was required, and Roy Letty put Lionheart ahead after 93 minutes. However, just 5 minutes later, he equalized, pushing the game to penalties. Lionheart held their nerve and won the shootout, advancing to the OFC Finals set for June 5, 2027. The final pitted Lionheart against another New Zealand side, Auckland United, at the Veterans Memorial Stadium in American Samoa. The match drew a crowd of 4,760 spectators, 187 of whom supported Auckland United. Despite Auckland's strong domestic record, they had yet to secure an international title. Calvin Song wasted no time, scoring after just 8 minutes and doubling his tally by the 14th minute, giving Lionheart an early 2-0 lead. Auckland United responded with a goal in the 16th minute, but Sami Peter restored Lionheart's 2-goal cushion, making it 3-1 by halftime. In the second half, both teams scored once more, but as the final whistle blew, the roar of the crowd was deafening. Mark stood on the touchline, watching his players embrace and celebrate their 4-2 victory. Lionheart had done it. Against all odds, they had captured their first international cup, lifting the OFC Champions League trophy high into the night sky. The confetti rained down, mixing with the ecstatic cheers of the over 4,000 fans who had stormed the pitch in celebration. Even Mark couldn't escape the jubilation, as he found himself lifted by the crowd, tossed into the air like one of his players. As the celebration swirled around him, Mark couldn't shake a nagging thought at the back of his mind. This moment, the culmination of years of hard work, was supposed to feel final, like the ultimate achievement. Yet instead of satisfaction, there was a strange emptiness, a whisper that this was only a chapter in a much larger story. Later that night, long after the fans had gone home and the stadium lights dimmed, Mark found himself alone in his office, staring at the trophy sitting proudly on his desk. It was everything he had worked for, but now that it was in his hands, he couldn't help but wonder. What came next? His phone buzzed on the table. A message from an unknown number flashed on the screen. "Congratulations, Mark, but there's more ahead for you. Much more." He frowned, unsure whether to be intrigued or unsettled. The message was cryptic, but something in his gut told him it was important. Was it an offer from another club? A new opportunity? Or simply a reminder that success, once achieved, was fleeting? Mark leaned back in his chair, gazing out the window at the moonlit field. He had led Lionheart to an international title, but deep down, he knew this was only the beginning of something greater. His journey with the club and in football was far from over. As dawn broke over the horizon, Mark made a decision. He wasn't done yet. Lionheart's international triumph had opened doors he hadn't even known existed. And the path forward, though uncertain, was calling him. But where would that path lead? Mark stood, the weight of the night lifting from his shoulders, and left the office. As he walked down the tunnel toward the exit, he smiled, a quiet determination filling his chest. Whatever came next, he was ready.